I'm Patrick from the British Franchise Association, and I'm joined today by Duncan Berry, Director at spa810. Spa810 have just joined us under the UK Developer Membership, and I'm here to hear from Duncan about his story in franchising as well as the company and why it's so important for them to join us. Welcome, Duncan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Duncan, can you tell us a bit about spa810, the history of the company and why you're entering the UK market?
Sure. So spa810 began in America back in 2012. They have been franchising there for the last five plus years. We took the master franchise back in 12 months ago, back in September. And we saw this as a great market to get into, growing market, which with people looking to spend money on looking good and willing to pay money for it, we saw a high-end brand fitting very well into the UK market.
Excellent. And your first store is in Harrogate as well.
So we've launched our pilot in Harrogate, a great market for what we do, 75,000 population, a good demographic of people there. And certainly the results-driven treatments that we focus on for spa810 have been extremely well received.
Excellent, thank you, Duncan. And what was the reason for you for joining the BFA under the UK Developer Membership?
So having been on the BFA board, twice elected to the BFA board, I was extremely keen to have that scrutiny to the brand that the BFA brings with it. Important to me that actually it was validated by the BFA in terms of what we were doing with the brand in the UK, but also letting prospective franchisees know that it had been looked at by the independent standards body of the BFA to give them the certainty and the reassurance that actually we were bringing in a credible, robust business model to the Medi-Spa sector.
Excellent. And your personal journey in franchising, you've mentioned you were twice elected to the board, so can you just give us a bit of background as to what your experience is?
So it's almost come full circle. So I joined venture marketing, or CII as they were then, some years ago, back in I think 97. So I was involved in the franchise exhibitions then, looked after Business Franchise magazine, and looking to encourage franchisors to use that for their own recruitment purposes. I must have done that poorly because then I was recruited to look after Cartridge World as a franchise. So they obviously saw I couldn't do that, but perhaps I could get involved in franchising. So I looked after the Cartridge World business, grew that in the UK up to just under 300 franchisees. And then in Europe, we had about a dozen master franchisees that I was responsible for their strategic growth. I was then CEO for Choice Hotels Europe in the UK, a hotel brand with about 45 franchisees there. And then latterly, Bluebird Care, who the 2017 BFA Franchise of the Year, which was fantastic. Looked after that business for the network, and we had a master franchise in Ireland as well. And then felt it was time to do something ourselves, and hence took us on to spa810 and bring the master franchise over here.
Okay, and you mentioned it's Medi-Spa. Can you just distinguish for us a little bit what Medi-Spa is?
Yeah, no, good point. So Medi-Spa is really about treatments that are results driven. So they are things like body sculpting with fat freezing, laser hair removal, aesthetic facials, meaning that they are more productive facials than just than pampering. We do laser hair removal, we do some excellent massage reflexology as well, but it's fundamentally about getting a good result from a course of treatments that people are happy to get and invest the money in for that period of time for that course.
Excellent, thank you. And obviously your product and your service that you provide at spa810 is very popular in the United States. Have you had to adapt the model at all or any of your products to enter the UK market to look at those trends?
So one element that we have changed is in the skin consultation piece. I felt it was important to bring in a skin analysis device, which they don't have in the US, which actually helps the therapists to take images of our client's skin in different lights, which lets them actually then see for themselves what's happening with their skin and recommend a course of treatments that best deals with any issues that the client may have. and actually then give the therapist and the guest the confidence that what's been recommended is actually going to get them the result in the end. So that's been a small additional investment, but a very worthwhile one to give therapists that confidence in what they're offering and what they're recommending. So that's been very well received. We've also started in the UK with all treatments, so cool sculpting, the hydrofacial, laser hair removal, have all been started from day one. In the US, they introduced this cool sculpting at a more later time, but we found it's been very well taken.
Okay, thank you, Duncan. And for other franchise systems looking to enter the UK market, international franchisors, what would your top tips be? So pitfalls, what not to do.
I think good point. So I think in looking to come into, if you're taking an international franchise into the UK, have a feasibility study done from them on the market, on their business in your market, to make sure that actually it's been validated that it's going to work for you. Look at the competition that you would see within not only the national but also the local market that you're going for. Look at the financing piece of it, ensure that you're it's well funded to last. It will invariably take longer than you're planning for it to take to pick up in terms of just the business, but also the franchise recruitment side of things. So plan for longer, and if things happen sooner, great. And also just ensure that when the pilot operation that you're running, it's investing in a very strong team that you can there to see that works and runs particularly well. And we're very fortunate to have an excellent team in the pilot operation in Harrogate supporting that growth.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Duncan. And obviously you've just entered the UK market. Are you looking to go elsewhere? Are you looking at perhaps other affluent areas where the Medi-Spa treatments could be a real kind of priority for those areas?
Yeah, so we're also looking at Ireland. We've got that market, and we were able to have a very positive conversation with a lead for Ireland today. It's one that I think spa810 as a corporate brand in the US will certainly look to be getting into other areas in Europe in due course. I think it's really just wanting to ensure that we can demonstrate for them a solid business case for the UK before then they can then point to that as a success for other markets that they may wish to get into.
Thank you very much, Duncan, for your time. It sounds very exciting indeed. So we'll see how the future holds for spa810.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for watching.